We start off today's wrestling news and rumors video with a big update regarding WWE planning for a current NXT superstar to get called up to the main roster, and that superstar is none other than Rhea Ripley. According to one of our sources, now that Rhea's storyline with Io Shirai is reportedly ending very soon, Vince McMahon has plans for Rhea Ripley to join the main roster either at the Survivor Series 2020 pay-per-view event as a last-minute replacement or later this month. And while it's still unknown exactly what brand Rhea will be moved to, we have been told that it's highly probable that Ripley will be called up to Friday Night SmackDown, with Vince apparently feeling that Rhea would be an immediate contender for Sasha Banks' SmackDown Women's Championship, along with Carmella, and McMahon allegedly feels that Rhea would be better utilized on SmackDown, and that it would be best for Ripley to stay away from the Raw brand, which is the show that Charlotte Flair will be returning to very soon. And if Rhea was on Raw, backstage officials feel that Rhea Ripley would not be given nearly as many opportunities compared to the blue brand, with Charlotte Flair on her way. Let us know your thoughts on the rumors surrounding Rhea Ripley joining the WWE main roster very soon, perhaps as early as the Survivor Series pay-per-view this weekend. And do you think that Rhea would be best utilized on Friday Night SmackDown, or is Monday Night Raw a good fit for Rhea Ripley despite Charlotte's presence on the show? We now have an interesting rumor regarding a former WWE superstar reportedly being considered by Vince McMahon to return to the company in the not-so-distant future, and that former star is Davey Boy Smith Jr., who was most notably recognized in WWE for his tag team alongside Tyson Kidd, where he won the tag team championships twice with Tyson, before eventually getting released from WWE back in 2011. Since his firing from WWE, Davey Boy Smith Jr. has been doing very well for himself on the independent wrestling scene and in Japan, and Davey has certainly added a lot of value to his name after his WWE release, and would certainly be a worthwhile addition to the WWE roster, either as a singles competitor or as a tag team division talent once again. In a recent interview with Sports Illustrated, Davey Boy Smith Jr. responded to the WWE return rumors by stating that it's very possible he does return, due to the fact that Davey's previous plans for 2020 of touring with All Japan Pro Wrestling have been cancelled due to the global situation, and WWE is a safe and reliable option for his career right now. Let us know if you think Davey Boy Smith Jr. should return to WWE in the near future, and would Davey be better suited as a tag team superstar if he does return, or should WWE try to book Davey Boy Smith Jr. as a solo competitor instead? Alexa Bliss has certainly revitalized her career in WWE in 2020 to a great extent, with Alexa completely changing her whole character alongside The Fiend Bray Wyatt. And it cannot be denied that The Fiend's and Alexa Bliss's storyline has been one of the most interesting aspects of WWE this year. However, while Bliss has never been more popular in WWE, it appears as though Alexa is already thinking of her life after retiring from the company, because in a recent interview, Alexa Bliss revealed that her current WWE contract expires in about 3 years, and once her contract expires, she intends to start a family with her fiancé, Ryan Cabrera, and essentially leave WWE. It's unknown if Alexa Bliss would return to WWE after starting a family with Ryan, but one of our sources has mentioned that there has been a lot of interest from Hollywood for Alexa Bliss after doing such a great job this year with The Fiend Bray Wyatt, and it's likely that a career in movies is what lies ahead for Alexa Bliss when she does retire from WWE. Daniel Bryan has certainly been known by fans to change up his look every now and then in order to freshen things up, and when Daniel Bryan returns to WWE very soon on Friday Night SmackDown, he will be returning with yet another new look. In a new video released by the Bella twins, Brie Bella showed off Daniel Bryan's new hairstyle, and apparently while Daniel was open to the idea of changing up his look a bit, we have been informed that Vince McMahon suggested that Daniel Bryan should freshen things up with a new look when he returns to WWE after being written off TV for a while following a storyline injury at the hands of Jey Uso, and there's no doubt that Bryan does look a bit different. For those of you unaware, recent backstage rumors have revealed that when Daniel Bryan returns to WWE, he will be feuding with Roman Reigns on SmackDown, so Bryan will be a major part of WWE TV on the blue brand as we close out 2020. Zelena Vega's firing or release from WWE is still very much the talk of the wrestling world this week, and as of today some new information has been revealed regarding what happened on the day Zelena was fired from WWE. According to one of our sources, Zelena Vega was notified of her release last Friday by the WWE's Senior Director of Talent Relations, Mark Carrano, and apparently when Zelena was told the unfortunate news, she had asked Carrano if she could talk to Vince McMahon, with Mark reportedly telling Zelena Vega that Vince did not want to talk to her whatsoever. her, and Vega was then escorted out of the building. It's safe to say that Vince was furious with Zelena Vega for her going against the WWE's newly implemented policies, hence why he refused to even talk with Zelena after her release. And while Vega is now gone from WWE, her husband Aleister Black is still with the company, and it's truly worrisome of how WWE will be treating Aleister Black moving forward, considering Vince's anger directed towards Zelena. As most of you are likely aware, Carrion won the NXT Championship from Keith Lee back at NXT TakeOver in August 2020, but after suffering from a shoulder injury, Carrion was not only forced to vacate the NXT title, but he also had to take a leave of absence from WWE to recover from his injuries. And while this injury has certainly caused Carrion Kross's momentum to be halted momentarily, Carrion Kross is reportedly going to be returning to NXT very soon, with one source mentioning that Carrion has almost recovered completely from his shoulder injury and is close to being medically cleared by WWE doctors to return. A new backstage rumor has revealed that WWE planned for Carrion Kross to immediately set his sights on the NXT Championship following his return, and it's highly probable that Carrion will win the title back, to essentially restart his big push from this past summer. We now have our main story featured in this video, and it is regarding the rumors that have started to go around regarding Sunday Night Survivor Series 2020 pay-per-view event, and more specifically the champion versus champion match between the Universal Champion Roman Reigns and current WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. While there are a lot of potential swerves WWE could possibly pull off during this big match between Reigns and McIntyre, such as the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar making his huge return to WWE to perhaps destroy Drew McIntyre and set his sights on the WWE title, but according to a new backstage rumor, Vince McMahon and other backstage officials are considering having The Miz cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase after the match. But while most fans would expect The Miz, who is a Raw superstar, to cash in on the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre, McMahon is contemplating having The Miz completely shock fans by cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase on Roman Reigns and winning Roman's Universal Championship, with The Miz then getting moved over to SmackDown after the shock title win. According to one of our sources, Vince feels most wrestling fans have already written The Miz off as cashing in his briefcase successfully, with many believing that The Miz will fail his cash-in attempt. And WWE reportedly think that a huge swerve that would add some excitement to Survivor Series 2020 is The Miz cashing in on Roman Reigns for the Universal title. Without question, fans can rest assured that Roman Reigns would be winning the Universal Championship back from The Miz before the road to WrestleMania 37 officially begins. But nonetheless, a short Universal title reign for The Miz would definitely be a storyline twist that few fans would be expecting.